In 2 weeks, it'll be the longest day of the year. Do you always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it? I always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it.
We ought to plan something.
All right. What do we plan? What do people plan? Look! I heard it! Tom, you did do it. I know you didn't mean to, but you did. That's what I get for marrying a brute of a man like you. A great, big, hulking, physical specimen.
I hate the word hulking, even in kidding.
Hulking.
You make me feel uncivilized, Daisy. Can't you talk about crops or something?
Civilization's going to pieces. I've gotten to be a terrible pessimist about things. Have you read The Rise of Colored Peoples by this man Goddard?
Why, no.
Well, it's a fine book, and everybody ought to read it. The idea is if we don't look out, the white race will be utterly submerged. It's all scientific stuff. It's been proved.
Tom's getting very profound. He reads deep books with long words in them. What was that one word that we...
Well, these books are all scientific. This fellow has worked out the whole thing. It's up to us who are the dominant race to watch out, or these other races will have control of things.
We ought to beat them down.
You ought to live in California.
This idea is that we're Nordics. I am, you are, and you are. And we've produced all these things that go to make civilization. Oh, science and art and all that. Do you see?
I'll tell you a family secret. It's about the butler's nose. Do you want to hear about the butler's nose?
That's why I came over tonight.
Well, he wasn't always a butler. He used to be the silver polisher for some people in New York that had a silver service for 200 people. He had to polish it from the morning till night until finally it began to affect his nose.
Things went from bad to worse.
Yes, things did go from bad to worse. And finally, he had to give up his position. I'd love to see you at my table, Nick. You remind me of a rose. An absolute rose. Doesn't he? He reminds me of a rose.
This Mr. Gatsby you spoke of is my neighbor.
Don't talk. I want to hear what happens.
Is something happening?
Get back
Do you mean to say you don't know? I thought everyone knew.
It is my business.
I don't.
You need to get back to the table right now.
Why, Tom's got some woman in New York.
Got some.
She might have the decency not to telephone him at dinner time, don't you think?
It couldn't be helped. I looked outdoors for a minute, and it's very romantic outdoors. There's a bird. I don't know. I think must be a nightingale. Come over on the cutter of White Star Lane line. He's singing away. It's romantic, isn't it, Tom?
Very romantic. If it's late enough after dinner, I want to take you down to the stables.
We don't know each other very well, Nick. Even if we are cousins, you didn't come to my wedding.
I wasn't back from the war.
That's true. Well, I had a very bad time, Nick. And I'm pretty cynical about everything.
So, your daughter, I suppose she eats and talks and everything?
Listen, Nick, let me tell you what I said when she was born. Would you like to hear?
Very much.
It'll show you how I've gotten to feel about things. Well, she was less than an hour old, and Tom was God knows where. I woke up out of the ether with an utterly abandoned feeling and asked the nurse right away if it was a boy or a girl. She told me that it was a girl, and I turned away and wept. All right, I said, I'm glad that it's a girl. And I hope she'll be a fool, because that's the best thing a girl can be in this world, a beautiful little fool. You see, I think everybody is terrible anyhow. Everybody thinks so. The most advanced people, and I know. I've been everywhere and seen everything and done everything. Sophisticated, God, and I am sophisticated.